So I'm going to assume that you want your practice to be bigger. I'm going to assume that you want it to be more profitable, and you also want to do that by helping more people. There's a problem though. When you start your practice, you kind of start down here, and you look at these guys who built these multi-million-dollar practices, and you're like, well, how do they get there, right? Maybe you kind of ask a few of them, ask them to mentor you, or you look online, you get some consulting gurus or whatever to help you out. But there's a lot to it, right? And really, it comes down to two basic things you've got to get right. You've got to get your delivery, your care, but also that means different types of delivery, different types of care. So maybe add decompression or laser treatments or function medicine or something like that, right? You got to have the care, right? The services and the personnel to deliver that, the establishment, and you got to have marketing that creates enough demand that makes that profitable to keep going and keep building, and keep doing. And you kind of take these two things, you go up and up and up over time, and that's how you go from having a little practice, a small, modest little practice, to something that's big and changes a lot of people's lives and makes a lot of money and maybe it has multiple locations and goes and becomes a franchise and all the dreams that we have when we're starting our businesses up, right? So how do you do that though? I mean, how I just told you, like, my hands right here, whoop de do. How do you actually do that in real life? Well, after working with more than 500 practices, maybe closer to 1,000 practices by now, I don't know, and helping a lot of them, scores and scores, maybe over 100 now, I've lost track of how many of them go from small to the multi-million dollar level. I've actually kind of realized what it sort of worked. There's sort of a common path. There's a set of stepping stones, stairs, whatever you want to call it, milestones that they reach. They hit this, and then the guys who succeed do that, and the guys who succeed do that. Right? This is how you manage the not only the marketing. The marketing is important because obviously being a marketing guy, I think the marketing is the most important. But no, having the marketing, but also how when you add that associate, when you buy that equipment, when's the right time to make that next move? And like from where you are now, because you could be anywhere on the scale from being really brand new practice to a multi-million dollar practice, even you've got somewhere on the line, you've got to make the right decision at the right time. So wouldn't it be cool if there was a guide on that? And that's what I've got. And I put this guy, I took all the experience we have in building million-dollar practices, and I said, okay, what is the path they follow? Like when they get to a certain size, what's the next thing they should do to get to the next size? For example, everybody's ever heard of a practice where that you say you bought a machine, you bought the big decompression machine, the laser, and then just gathered dust. What happened? Well, there's a reason that it was the wrong purchase at the wrong time. That's all. It was just a little out sequence. Something else or two or three something else's need to be done first. And we also heard of guys who they're busting, they're killing their staff, right? They're working to death, or they're wasting a lot of their marketing leads, or they have other types of issues sort of blow the practice up and actually sort of jam it and keep it from growing. Well, it's because somewhere in the line there's something a little bit earlier than that that's causing that kind of malfunction in the organization afterwards, right? So what I've done is I've actually worked out what these steps are, and I've organized it as a relatively simple presentation. And I'm going to be doing that next Friday, December 22nd at 2 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to do a special webinar. You're going to see some other promotion for this, I'm sure, but I want to just let you guys know I'm doing it up front here. And I'm going to cover it all. I'm going to say, okay, here's what I've learned. Here's how the little guys go from being little to being big. And if you've stuck, if your practice has plateaued somewhere and it's just not going or going, this might literally be the thing that you need to see that will move you from where you are now towards where you're going. Is it going to be $1 million overnight? Of course not. And I give it a great sexy name, the $1 million profit formula seminar, something like that, right? $1 million profit formula, because it is the formula that takes you from zero to a million. And I only say it, I can only say it because we've done it with people. I've seen this. It's not something I heard about or some other presentation somewhere else that I read. No, this we've actually been doing for 12 years now. In our agency, we've helped these guys build, and now we have their commonalities all put together into this one basic presentation where I'm going to just show you bam, bam, bam. I mean, it might be a little longer than most of my webinars. It might go an hour and a half. I don't know. I haven't finished putting all the slides together yet, but I'm going to tell you, it's a very thorough covering, and I think it will stand the test of time because this is what if I had a friend who was starting a chiropractic practice today, I would give this to them and say, here's your blueprint to 3 million, to 5 million. Here's what you do in the big steps. So anyway, maybe it's useful to you, maybe it's not. Maybe you don't want to be big. Maybe you're really happy where you're at. If you're really happy where you're at, don't bother. Don't come to it. But if you kind of like, oh, I want to do better, I want to do bigger, I want to be smoother, I want to have, even if you want to have more help more people and make more money, That's cool. There's nothing wrong with wanting to make more money. There's nothing wrong with being prosperous. Actually, there's so many people out there who need you. You kind of owe it to the world to be big and prosperous and set a great example for our industry. Okay. But anyway, that aside, whatever purposes you're operating off of, be sure to set aside next week on at 2 o'clock on Friday, December 22nd, 2023, before we switch the year over and all that. I'm going to be doing it live then. For I can already hear the questions. Yes, well, there will be some replays. There'll be some limited replays. I'm not a big believer in letting stuff be on forever replay. I figure like it's better to kind of get the data when the time is. And if you're on the live one, you'll be able to get the information directly right then. And then if you don't make it, if you sign up for it, and you don't make it, then we'll let you into the replays later on. But you do have to sign up for it. If we want any hope of getting the replay, go and sign up for it now. And if you want to, well, how do I sign up for it now? You go right here. I've got a little thing pop on the screen. There you go. Go to thecustomerfactory.com/profit because it's the $1 Million Profit Seminar. So /profit. Go there, sign up for the webinar, even if you can't make it for sure. That's cool. I recognize the time of year it is. That's December 22nd, which is the Friday before Christmas. It's probably the worst possible time ever for me to schedule this webinar. But rather than wait a week or 2 weeks, I want to get this out to you now. You're probably planning your year. I want you to have this now to think about how you're going to grow from where you are now to where you want to be in a year's time, 3 years' time, 5 years' time, 10, 20 years' time, right? I mean, we all have goals where you want to go. So it's a good, I love this time of year. It's a good goal setting time of year. And this really is going to help you put foundations under those castles in the air that you build, right? I want this. Well, here's how you get there. At least the best that I can give you in a short time based on quite a lot of experience and having done it directly with dozens, scores of clients. All right. So hopefully I'll see you there. Remember, December 22nd, which is Friday, next Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be doing it live. Go to the link right there, thecustomerfactory.com/profit to sign up, and you'll be able to see it live, or you'll be at least eligible to see the replay. Okay. And obviously, hopefully, our company can be part of helping you get the marketing parts of those things going because that's what we know how to do for reals. Like we can do that. So if you need the marketing solved, consider us as a possible vendor for you. Okay. Otherwise, see you there. Happy holidays. If I don't see you otherwise, I'll see you at the webinar anyway. Okay. Bye.